Good morning, students. Today we will continue with the same chapter that we were doing, transformation of sentences. Okay, let's start. We've already completed interchange of degree of comparisons. Now we have interchange of one part of speech into another. Now when we talk about parts of speech, I'm sure you know that noun, pronoun, your adverb, verb, adjective, all these are your parts of speech. Make sure that your grammar or the base of your grammar is clear. Okay, now what we need to do in this part of the chapter is we have to change, it into a noun or a verb or an adverb or an adjective. It depends what the question is asking for. So let's continue. Interchange of one part of speech into another. See the first two example. It says he is honest in his dealings. Means he shows honesty in his dealings. Now he is honest, right? We have to change the word honest into a noun. So for that, the noun is honesty. Is that clear? Now see the next example here. Do not make it public. Means do not publish it. So we have changed the word public into a verb. Now see, we have some more examples here. I'll read them for you. For the noun one, I sympathize with the poor, right? So I have what for the poor? Sympathy. So you'll change the word sympathize to sympathy. See the next one. I work every day. I do my work every day. So we have changed it into a noun. In the same way, it goes for the verb. You have, okay, you should know the definitions clearly. What is a noun? The name of a person, place, animal or thing. Now again, we have different types of noun, so you should know them as well. The same goes with the verb. Like verb here. Verbs are what? Your action words, right? So let's see. Do not make it public. So here we don't have any verb, but the moment we say here, do not publish it, means that's the action. We're turning it into a verb. See the next one. The departure of the train is at 6 a.m. Right? The train departs at 6 a.m. So the action word here is departs. That's the verb. See the next example. Asha is listening to the teacher attentively. So Asha is attentively listening to Asha is attending to the teacher, or she's attentively listening to the teacher. Okay, it is given here attending to the teacher. So that's completely fine. Whether you're listening or you're attending is fine. Now turn it to adjectives. See, by changing a word into adjective. Now, I'm sure you know what are adjectives. Again, these are the words that modify a noun or a pronoun. So let's see. She takes much pride in her beauty. She is very proud of her beauty. So proud is modifying what? Yeah, the noun. Let's see. He will certainly succeed. He is certain to succeed. So again it is modified here. He cannot bear such a heavy loss. Such a heavy loss is unbearable to him. So we have changed it to adjective. Negative, we have removed the negative, and when you remove it, you go for the opposite. Bearable, unbearable. Now see the next one. By changing it into an adverb. What is an adverb? Adverb is that word that modifies your verb, right? You're not walking with attention. You're not walking attentively. His dress is poor. He is poorly dressed. How is he dressed? Poorly. He had a narrow escape. He escaped narrowly, right? So this is how you will change it. Now we have an exercise here, number C, right? I want you all to do this exercise on your own. We will discuss the answers, right? We will discuss all the answers, and at least you'll understand how we'll be doing it. Okay, let's discuss one or two sentences so that you'll understand. Rewrite the following sentences substituting the verb form for the okay, now these words are here. What you need to do is you have to use a verb. So they have given you what you need to do. So you don't have to worry about whether you have to change it into a noun, verb, adjective, adverb. It is clearly given in the question that all the words that are actually in the italics, they needs to be substituted by a verb. So let's see the first one. Pandit Jawaharlal had great love for his country. So here you need to understand. See, love is in the italics, so you have to change it. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru loved his country deeply. Great love, or he loved his country deeply. Loved is your verb form of love. See the next one. He was rewarded with success in his efforts. Right? He succeeded in his efforts. So success will change to succeeded into a verb. See the third one. We are proud of our cricket team. We take pride in our cricket team. Number 4, it is my belief that it is not difficult to make a speech in public. I believe that, right? It is not difficult to make a speech in the public. So belief or believe, I believe that, right? Okay, now the rest answers we'll discuss and I'll help you in doing that. Let's move to the next exercise. Rewrite the following sentences. Okay, again we have the same italics and we have to use the noun form. I do not know it. It is not in my knowledge. Know is knowledge. How did you offend your father? How did you give offense to your father? Offend, you have to change it to a noun, that is offense. He prayed to God for their safety. He offered prayer. So prayed is again a verb and you have to change it into a noun. So prayer. I'll help you with these sentences as well later on. Let's move to the next exercise. Let's see. Rewrite the following sentences and what you have to do, adjectives. He is a cricketer by profession. So he is a professional cricketer. By good fortune, I was able to get a nice house to live in. I was fortunate to get a nice house to live in. By fortune or fortunate, right? So that is how you'll be doing it. I'll help you with it, right? I'll help you with the answers. Come to the next one, fourth one again. Rewrite the following sentences again with the help, and what you need to do is you have to remove the italics and you have to use an adverb. So let's see how you can do it. He had a narrow escape. We've already done that. He narrowly escaped. I go there on purpose. I go there purposely. He had made a thorough preparation for the examination. He had thoroughly prepared for the examination. So this is how you'll be doing it. The prisoner were beaten without mercy. So he was beaten mercilessly. So this is how you'll be doing it, right? I'll help you with the answers. I'll make a PDF and I'll send the answers to you, right? Just check it, okay? So let's move to the next part, that is interchange of active and passive. Active and passive is a vast topic. We have already, I think so we have already covered it, or you must have done it in your previous classes as well. It is again the part of your grammar and one of the most important topics that you should know, no matter what. You should know all the rules of it, how to change from active to passive. Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll start with active and passive here. Give me a minute. Now see, this next part is your active and passive voice. Now see here, we have a complete chapter on active and passive voice, and I'm sure you must have done it. Right, we've done it. We have already done it before. Now let's continue. See, it says here, interchange of interrogative and assertive form. Now, when you interrogative are your question sentences. I'm sure you understand what are questions. I'm sorry, not sentences, questions. And you have to change assertive to question or question to assertive. It depends. Now, see the first sentence given here. Their glory can never fade. So it's an assertive sentence, but we have a negative never. So we are talking about time. So when we talk about time, we prefer taking question words like when. So when can their glory fade? So the question is when. We are talking about time. When can their glory fade? We've got the rest words from the sentence itself. So changing it is easier. I have some sentences here. I will read it for you. Man is mortal. So you can get the verb from here is not man mortal, right? So we have used a negative here while changing just to balance it. Blood is thicker than water. Is not blood thicker than water? So if the sentence is in the positive, for example, here the sentence is in negative, the question will be in positive. But if the sentence is in positive, the question will be in negative to balance it, right? See the next sentence, I'll read it. Man cannot die better than facing fearful odds. So cannot die is your negative. So when you change it, it will be how can man die better than facing fearful odds? Nothing else. We've removed the negative. Now see the next one, assertive to interrogative again. Everybody would wish to be rich. Now there is no negative in it. Who would not wish to be rich? So we have used a negative here. See the next one. What? Okay, I'm sorry. It does not matter much though we are poor. So we have a negative here. It does not matter. When you change it to an interrogative, it will be what though we are poor, right? What if we are poor? Assertive, I cannot bear it any longer. So negative again. So when you change it into a question, it will be positive. How can I bear it any longer? Assertive, it is useless to open old sores. Why open old sores? Right? So negative and positive. Useless is again, please understand, useless is somewhat of a negative form. So useful is the positive. So useless. So why open old sores? So there is no negative used in the question. Okay, now come down. We have another exercises to do. I'll be discussing the answers with you later on. Come down to interchange of affirmative and negative sentences. Now, affirmative are the positives and your negatives you already know are the negatives. Now, see here, I have an example. The knife is sharp. This is a positive sentence. There's no negative in it. You have to change it to negative. How you can change it? This knife is not blunt. So you will not write this knife is not sharp. You will write the opposite and a negative. Right? So it should be an opposite and a negative to make it a negative sentence. See the next one. Okay, when you're changing it from affirmative to negative, there's one form that is by placing not, the way we have done it here. So let's see how. The plan is practicable, means it is practical. This plan is not impracticable, means I have used a negative and an opposite. Okay, or we can say antonyms. By the color, okay, by the use of double negatives, we can even use double negatives. For example, I am hopeful. I am not without hope. Not and without are two negatives. Is that clear? For example, he reached in time. He did not fail to reach in time. So did not and fail. We have got double negatives. by changing degrees. Okay, there are different ways of changing affirmative sentences into negative sentences. Rama is stronger than Shyam. So Rama is not as strong as, Shyam is not as strong as Ram. Okay, so what we have done, I hope you remember the adjectives chapter, comparative, superlative, degrees and all. So that's what we have done here. We have used this comparative degree and we've changed it to positive degree. Mohan is the best boy in the class. So there is no negative here. No other boy. So we have used no. No other boy is as good as Mohan in the class. Now by the use or omission of TOO. You remember we've done this adverb to part. The same thing comes back here. He's too clever to be deceived. He's so clever that he cannot be deceived. We have already done this, okay? So please keep in mind, don't forget it. See the next one, by the use of certain words as no sooner, then, but, etc. As soon as the guard whistled, the train started. No sooner did the guard whistle than the train started. Now this is one of the most important sentences that I wish to discuss with you. Give me a minute. Okay, now see the sentence here. As soon as the guard whistled, the train started. So, as soon as will be changed to no sooner did. Remember that. See, I've underlined it here. This will change to this. And because we are using did here, you can see did here. So, we'll use the first form of verb here. So, whistle will change to whistle. Comma will change to then. And this part after comma remains the same. So that's the basic rule to remember it. So as soon as the guard whistled, comma, the train started. No sooner did the guard whistle, then the train started. See the next one. I'm sorry. It always pours when it rains. It never rains but pours. After that, we have some exercises that we can do later on. Come to interchange of exclamatory and assertive sentences. Here I have done it. See, exclamatory sentences, of course, I'm sure you know, we express joy, all these feelings, sadness, excitement, whatever it is. So when you're changing the exclamatory into assertive, we prefer using words like very or so. For example, what a fine weather. It is a fine weather. It is very fine weather. So what we are talking about, something that is very good or so good. How foolish you are. You are very foolish. Oh, that I were a king. I wish that I were a king. Now this one is a wish. Of course, I were. You have to recognize it. So you'll change it to I wish that I were a king. If I could only see him, I earnestly desire to see him. Would that I were appointed to the post? Would that means he's wishing. So I wish that, I were appointed to the post. A soldier and afraid today? It is astonishing, or you can write it is surprising that a soldier should be afraid of death. Okay, now come down. We have two exercises again here that we need to do. Apart from that, we have the last one here. Interchange of principal and subordinate clauses. Okay, I hope you remember the clauses. We have two clauses in a sentence. The main one is the principal. The second one is the subordinate clause. The clause that can stand on its own is the principal. The clause that needs support is your subordinate clause. We've already done a proper chapter on this, so I'm sure you know it. Let's see. I study in the school which was established by my father. My father established the school in which I study. No sooner did I enter the train than it started. The train started as soon as I entered it. You cannot succeed unless you work hard. You must work hard if you want to succeed. So we are changing the clauses, making the principal into subordinate, subordinate into principal. He never takes up the work which he does not do. He always does the work which he takes up. I love him more than I ever did before. Never before did I love him so much as I do now. So this is how we'll be doing it. It's an interchange of your principal and subordinate clauses. After that, we have conditional sentences. It is again a proper chapter. We have already done it. So let's see what these conditional sentences have to say. But for your help, I would not have succeeded. If you had not helped me, I would have not succeeded. So you can see both the sentences are same, but instead of but, I have used if. But for his help, I would have been ruined. If he had not helped me, comma, I would have ruined. So make sure you do it that way. I'll do one thing. I'll be posting the answers for you. Now see, they've given all the sentences under it. I'll do one thing. I'll send you the pictures. I'll make a PDF of all the answers. I'll send it to you so that whatever answers you've done, you can actually check them. Right? So you'll have an idea what to do and what not to do. Please make sure that you do complete your work. Read the chapters nicely. Go through all the rules. Now see, if we talk about this one chapter, transformation of sentences, we have covered most of the chapters in it. Like your adjectives, we have done your kinds of sentences, active, passive, conditionals, and your clauses. Everything is under one topic. That is transformation of topic, right? So please make sure that you revise everything. Keep everything updated. Okay, so that is it for today. The rest will continue in the next video. Thank you.